Many Roblox players are aware of the countless issues the company has faced over the past year. It started with creators exposing their child safety concerns, which led to widespread media coverage, including podcasts and cable news networks.
And we begin at 6 with new accusations against Roblox.
A lawsuit has been filed in the Northern District of California against tech giants Roblox Corporation and Discord.
Once the issues gained more traction, lawmakers, attorney generals, and other members of the government did everything they could do to hold Roblox liable. This forced many people, including myself, to believe that Roblox and its investors would take a heavy hit from this. And well, we were correct. Roblox has now lost $70 billion in market value, although they believe this is due to lack of viral games. However, Roblox is still breathing, with over 100 million daily active users, regardless of the lawsuits and mass media campaign against them. So I decided to look into this a little further to figure out what ways Roblox has tried to carve its way out of legal responsibility, and it looks like I might have some possible answers. Before we get into the details, I would appreciate it if you liked this video and subscribe to the channel, especially because the making of these videos is not free. Your support for this channel means a lot to me. You can also join my Discord server where you can hang out or have valuable discussions about my videos. The link is in the description. Now, to figure out Roblox's cheeky ways of relaying information, the first place that came to my mind was the terms of service. And this seems like the most logical place to find information because it's a set of ground rules that Roblox sets if you want to play their game. Or if Roblox wants to be more strategic from a legal perspective, they could probably implement these rules and no one would even know. Because let's be real, who reads the terms of service? I always hope that Roblox isn't thinking super negatively and unethically about these things, but you never know. Anyways, I started looking right into the terms of service, and surprisingly enough, I found a lot of vital information right in the introduction of the page. First thing that caught my eye here was a bullet point saying, for US users, Roblox's arbitration agreement, section 13, which outlines how disputes between you and Roblox will be resolved. Specifically, these Roblox terms contain a binding individual arbitration and class action waiver. This means that you give up the right to bring an action in court, individually or as part of a class action. Basically, what this means is that when you create an account and you agree to Roblox's terms of service, you can't take them to a court of law for a class action lawsuit. Instead, it sounds like they want to encourage some type of closed-door arbitration where the details of the lawsuit and all the settlements are handled behind closed doors, and the public has zero knowledge of it. And this is a problem that people like Schlep have actively talked about in terms of Roblox's accountability. On Schlep's Instagram page, he literally talks about how an 8-year-old child can't file a legal dispute against Roblox because she agreed to the terms of service.
But this terms of service is so binding, it is so outrageous that they claim you cannot sue the company for any reason at all, and anything has to be done in something called a closed door arbitration, which pretty much hides exactly what happened when Roblox knew what from the public.
Going off of Schlep here, the arbitration puts the case behind closed doors, which doesn't allow the public to see any details. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is actually a very common tactic among companies, and in some cases, the closed door arbitration might actually be useful. In Roblox's case, however, a possible reason for something like this would be along the lines of damage control. And then you look further into the terms of service, where Roblox says that they want to cap its liability to $1,000. $1,000 is the maximum amount that they will pay victims and other people who are going with the closed door arbitration. Now, let me clarify that if the law actually wants to make an exception and tell Roblox to pay more, Roblox very likely has to comply here. But the point I'm trying to make is that some people might find up to $1,000 insulting. Paying to have a lawyer or some sort of representation in legal disputes, it's not cheap. And I'm willing to bet that $1,000 is not enough money in compensation. And when Roblox handles these legal disputes and says that they only have to pay $1,000 unless told to do otherwise, that could be considered evidence of avoiding legal responsibility here. Unironically, too, this type of behavior is something Roblox has been doing for years now. This is not new to them. In 2023, Roblox made sure to emphasize in its terms of service that users were going to be held legally responsible for copyright disputes when it comes to things like UGC items. And that's a reasonable thing to say and do. I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm trying to say is that avoiding legal responsibility is something Roblox has done time and time again. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's considered good or bad. That's not what we're talking about here. Now, I do finally want to look at 2 more Roblox TOS guides, and I think they bring some extremely important questions and hypotheticals to the table, so just bear with me there. We're gonna look at section 15 of their guidelines now, where it says, while Roblox's goal is to provide industry-leading moderation and text filtration on the services to enforce its terms of use and community standards, no such system is perfect, and Roblox cannot ensure that users will not encounter content that violates Roblox's terms of use or community standards. And while there is technically not an issue with this statement here, it just makes me think about this. If Roblox claims that you're going to see the content that violates the TOS, even if they're moderating the platform, then what's gonna happen when you don't do your job? What's gonna happen when people expose you for ignoring that type of content? Because that's exactly what's happened here. This is not like a far-fetched question to ask here, because obviously we got lawsuits from attorney generals and even government officials from other countries. It is safe to say you haven't done your job if that's the case, and it is not irrational to think that way. Now, here's the other thing I want to show you from the section 15 part of the TOS. It says, quote, user assumes all risk for any damage that may result from users' use of or access to the services, users dealing with any other users on the services. Now, my opinion on this is that I genuinely do not believe kids can assume these risks because they're literally kids. I've talked about this on my channel before. I literally have a video where I talk about brain development and how kids technically don't have their full brains developed until they're fully 25. If you want to see more information about that and the context of that, because it revolves to predatory behavior on the platform, please go watch that video, because it is another way that I describe about how younger kids cannot assume the risks. They're literally kids, guys. I don't know what else I can tell you. Especially in today's context as well, where literacy rates are dropping, especially in the United States when it comes to education. In today's context, in 2026, I genuinely do not believe kids can assume these risks anymore. Now, are the parents partially responsible for this? Yes, of course they are. They need to be monitoring their kids more often. Where instead of learning more about the issue, which Roblox should have been doing, it became clear that they wanted to prioritize their profits and get as much as they could without actually addressing the issue. This is what we've been seeing for months. And this is all kind of sad to see, because like, as someone who's grown up with Roblox for almost 9 years now, it is so hard to watch the Roblox we all played turn into some kind of massive safety concern. I remember my first game on Roblox being Hide and Seek Extreme, and it was an incredibly joyful experience for me. And now I sit and watch Roblox become a public company because they joined the New York Stock Exchange in 2021. They've publicized their company to create a new priority, and it's fine that it is a priority, but it's become too much of a priority. And that priority is the priority of investors. And it's been one of the most disappointing roller coasters imaginable. Instead of telling younger people about the joy of Roblox, I recommend that kids not download the app, because they won't get to experience the same joy I got when I was a kid. And I hope we can see such joy in the future. It's funny, I've almost lost my neutral commentary voice because I can no longer act that way when it comes to situations like this. I've become much more like personable behind the microphone because these discussions are so necessary. You guys have no idea. If you want to hear me yap about these topics more often, I really recommend that you subscribe and join my Discord server. The more people we get in these conversations, you know, you don't even have to agree with me, but the barrier of not talking about it is just burden enough, and that can be fixed if we encourage these discussions. Thank you guys so much for watching it. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your support. Feel free to leave a comment down with your thoughts. I'll be looking at comments. I'll reply to them. Please like the video. I really want this engagement to get out. And if you can, hype the video. I don't really know if I have that feature yet, but I will see you in the coming future.